Wonderful, sweet baby. So today we're going to be talking about this entire situation that's going on with CoryxKenshin and his ex-girlfriend or boo thing. So this girl has came forth and explained how, all these bad traits that CoryxKenshin had. And this girl didn't just come empty-handed. She came with dozens and dozens of receipts. And in these receipts, she's talking about how manipulative he is and how she wasn't the only one that had witnessed these things with him. It is 3 long slides of about 30 something pictures for each part that she dropped. So she's not just dropping little bits of details, she's dropping a ton of details. Although I love to go through each and every long-winded part that she comes up with, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the most interesting parts. And I'm also going to show you guys a video that she dropped of them hanging out, as well as, them showing affection towards each other. So it doesn't look like this is just some random girl. And, this story would actually make sense. So go ahead and take a look at these clips that I dropped. And these clips are some of the most interesting parts that I found from her 35, slide long picture carousel thing that she dropped. So go ahead and take a look at these clips. So here's the actual text message proof that she dropped. She says, "Okay, so what's up?" He said, "You still seeing someone?" She said, "Why do you ask?" He said, "Because I'm trying to blank your life up some more." And then she says, what?" And he said, "That was a joke. Geez, LOL. I was just asking." And she said, "Never heard you curse before. That's why it threw me off." He then says, "Because I wanted you." She says, "Wanted me how?" He says, "Like I've had you." And she said, "Like in a relationship type way or something else?" He says, "Like something else." And then she says, "That's kind of messed up. I wasn't a toy." And he said, "I know that. I wasn't just about to message you after a year and ask you to be my girlfriend." She said, "But I guess I was just a good F for you." And he said, "When you said relationship, I thought you meant I was just gonna ask you out." And she said, "Nah." Corey then says, "I mean, you were, but that's not all you were anyway. Doesn't matter. You're with someone." And she said, "That's how it felt at the time. Even if I wasn't, I would have let you again. And when I did that with you is something I just don't do with anyone." And like a typical, N-word, Corey gonna say, "You wouldn't have let me F again." And she said, "No, I wouldn't." So then he says, "I'm glad I'm the same. I don't F anyone, double bummer." And then she said, "The difference between you and I, though, is that I don't do it with just anyone because I was SA'd. I'm not saying that for you to feel bad or whatever, but for you to understand." And he says, "I know you told me that. I didn't know I got lumped into the category with the person that did that." And she said, "Because I was being used for that, I guess that time when you told me how you felt was not real too." So then Corey, I guess, is starting to get the drift of where she's coming from. So he says, "Backpedal. You were never used for S. I needed to make sure you understand that. I loved you, like I said. Didn't have my ish together." She said, "You loved me? How was that possible?" So here are a few things that stood out in her little picture things that she did, where she did the 35 long ones. I'm just simply not going to show you guys all 35 of those because that's insane. So here's what she said in this one. "And then came the subtle jabs. You once asked if I wanted to know how much you made. I said no because I didn't care. I've never depended on anyone. I've worked hard my whole life and made my own money." So as you could see, she's acting like she doesn't care about the money. She doesn't care about the clout. I also had to share this one. She said, "Then you had the nerve to say I loved you back then. I just didn't have my ish together. Really? You had the money, the platform, the fans, the house, the car, everything. You had every tool to be a decent human being. And you still chose to be careless with someone you claim to love." So I'll delve deeper into this within my final thoughts, but I just thought that was interesting coming from what she had just recently said about, not wanting anything to do with his money and things like that. So when all of the SA stuff came out, I guess people started to correlate that maybe this had something to do with Corey. So she said, "You knew my effing story. You knew I'd already been through hell. You watched your own mother go through it. You saw what it did to your own family. You felt what that word means, the fear, the fight, the way it rips everything apart." She then also says this, "And looking back, I'm grateful because of that. I met others, the other women you heard. One by one, I got introduced to more of them, with women with stories, women with messages they never sent, women who saw the same patterns." So as you guys could see, it's making it seem like Cory's just some weirdo that's out here SAing people based off of the way that she's, gathering this information in this story. So then comes all the videos that she pretty much dropped after. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the videos of her, you know, going about this and her expressing how she felt about this. I'm just going to compile them all at once so you guys could see all these cringy videos. Once again, also making him kind of seem like a creep, like maybe he had done something like an SA type of a thing. So go ahead and take a look at this.
I'm still on.
I'm still on.
Then I woke up again and it was off.
Did you watch me sleep?
Hmm?
Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry. I just got this fetish that I do. You know.
What?
I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
What'd you do, Cory?
Just don't worry about it.
Cory?
It's good.
Cory, what did you do?
Do nothing. Look, this came right in my face. I didn't do anything.
He did something, and I'm gonna find out on the next episode of
Dragon Ball Z, where you going with this?
I'm sorry, you guys. I had to come back on here really quick. So, as you guys could see, that kind of made it seem like he was a creep right there. And that's when I started to think, oh my God, what did Cory actually do? And then, this was a video that she dropped way before these allegations even came out. So she's been always trying to subtly hint that, Cory was just this monster. So go ahead and check this crazy, cringy, just off the wall video that she made.
Make an avocado. I dated CoryxKenshin, and he hurt me really bad, and I'm not the only one.
So here's my thoughts. This girl, I think, is batshit crazy, and she needs to go get some therapy, because I just can't. Like, the last video there kind of showed me that she was doing this for some sort of clout. She was doing this for some sort of, look who I dated, guess who I dated, because it's kind of almost like she's wearing it as a badge of honor that she dated Cory at this point. And I have to be all the way 100. I'm a woman myself, and I'm looking at all the evidence that she's gathered, which we're not done. Like, there's still so much more, but I had to jump into my thoughts already because that right there was the final straw. That's what then let me know, like, okay, that was very weird, and that was very odd of a victim to do. So she then comes forth after people are accusing Cory of SA because of how she's putting everything out there for pretty much the traction. So then this is when she says, once, people start accusing Cory of SA. So she pretty much goes to her story and says, for clarification, he did not SA me. Not to be insensitive, but if he didn't SA you, but girl, we really don't want to hear it. Because if he didn't SA you, if he didn't DV you, then we don't want to hear it. It's clearly just a situation where he was an ain't shit man, and then he sat there and treated you ain't shit, and now you're bitter about it and upset about it, and you want everybody to know you dated him and who he was as a person because you're trying to tarnish his name. Mind you guys, it's starting to be alleged that this happened about 8 years ago, and this whole situation came out, years ago, and she's still on this. So her own ex-best friend actually came out and exposed her and was talking about how much of a fraud she was. So go ahead and take a look at this video.
I had literally just posted a video about my experience with a woman who accused CoryxKenshin of emotional abuse and found out that apparently you guys managed to figure it out and weasel out of her within 7 hours that she was lying. Let me add a little bit of extra third-party context here. This is little 21-year-old me and Nami at the time noticed that the side of her head is shaved. I'm saying this because even though the timeline wasn't confirmed based off of the videos that she posted and the messages that she was trying to circulate not having a timestamp, I'm pretty sure this was around the time I lived with her, if not slightly before. When we did live together, she did very briefly tell me about Cory, but more in like we didn't actually date, we just kind of talked, but because he was busy with YouTube stuff, it didn't work out. I never thought anything of that. It's been 8 years. I have never thought about that moment again until just now. And the reason I'm thinking about that just now is because not only did she do me insanely dirty for like the 2.5 months that we lived together, and that can be a whole other story time for a whole other video, but while I lived with her, before I even moved out here in May of 2017, she was already actively dating someone, a mutual friend of ours who I will not name because he's not into the drama. It's been 8 years, and immediately after they broke up, she was dating somebody else, so things just didn't really add up, you know what I'm saying? Not to mention, there's gonna be a lot of people who know her and are gonna be able to call her out because we had a humongous friend group in K-Town in New York, so really interesting to see how many people are willing to come out and tell you guys that they know for a fact that she's lying because she's just always kind of been a shady person. And it really sucks because it's already really hard to get people to believe women when they accuse someone, even if they have empirical proof. She has just set us back. I don't even know how far. Really disappointing to see that after 8 years you really have not changed as a person, Nami.
So when she got wind of this, she decided to do her own response video to her ex-best friend. So go ahead and take a look at her response.
I didn't think I was going to do one more video, but I have to do it because this is going to be blown out of proportion. And I know that. So me and Simone here, this girl right here, met on CashApp a long time ago. She came to live with me because she was having issues with her ex. Well, now ex. Like, it was her husband. And at the time, she was only 21. And I felt bad because I felt for her because she didn't have anybody else. She only had him. And, like, she didn't want to stay with this guy anymore. And literally one day she did cry to me. And I felt so bad that I was just like, you know what? Like, if you want, you could come stay with me. You could come live with me. Just so you know, like, if you come live with me, you know, I'm going to help you get on your feet. But when you get a job, like, you know, you're going to have to help me because you're, you know, I feel like that's a fair thing to do. But that's just me. But I wasn't going to, like, gouge her for money. Like, I literally was waiting for her to get a job. And she was okay with that. And when she came, the first thing she did as soon as she got off the plane was go stay with another guy that this was the first time she was meeting him. Like, she met him on Kakao and they've been talking for like weeks, and she went to go stay with him. And I'm like, look, I'm not stopping the girl for doing what she's doing. That's fine. Never stopped her from doing what she was doing. And then, but she kept going over there, so she wasn't really like staying in the house. So like, I kind of got used to being by myself, so I was just like, you know, didn't make a big deal out of it. And then she finally had gotten a job, and like the agreement was still, you know, still stood, but like I wasn't trying to gouge her. Like, I was waiting for her to, like, you know, make some money and then be able to help me out when she was ready. And then she wasn't like giving me anything, so I was just like, hey dude, like, are you gonna help me out? Like, what's going on? And she kind of like got mad. She got mad as hell. And she winded up leaving. So, like, her man came over, which is the guy that she was staying with. And she came and she kind of took her suitcase and she slammed it against the wall as she was leaving. And there was other people living in the house. And this was late at night. So I was just like, dude, like, what's wrong? You know, what the fuck's your problem? Like, seriously. And she left. Like, she didn't say nothing. She kept going, so I left it alone. That was that. And I never saw her again. And I was just like, you know, I was a little upset because, like, at the time, like, I did need, like, the money to, like to cover for the cost that, you know, that she was living with me, or, like, when she would come home, like, you know, for the essential stuff. Like, I really didn't ask her for much either, so, which is, like, crazy to me, but it's okay. I'm not, like, holding that against her. Like, you know, that shit happened so long ago. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. What mattered to me was what she did when she went in Kakao chat. So she would actively be in Kakao chat, and, like, that's how, you know, I used to hang out with a group of people that I thought were my friends, and they were not. And I admit that. And they had a group chat, and some of them I didn't fuck with, but, like, there was one time where I just was like, oh, okay, you know, like, I want to try to be nice to everybody else. Like, maybe, you know, me having weird feelings about people, I'm not going to try to, like, assume that they're worse, and they wind up bringing me into their other group chat, and they were just saying some crazy raunchy stuff. And I was like, this is not, this is not the place for me. And they were literally saying that they were that basically they were talking shit about me. And fine, like, people talk shit about people all the time and stuff, but like they were like that, like literally, like they would talk shit about me in there. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm leaving in there. I'm leaving this this group chat. She was in there, and she was one of the people that was talking shit about me. And what pisses me off about that is that I feel like it's kind of fucked up that I bought you here from a marriage that you were not happy in, and I wanted to help you get on your feet, and you are out here saying shit like this when I haven't even seen you in your years, so you don't even know anything that's going on with me. This is the first time I'm seeing her ever. Like, I haven't seen her in forever. She only lived with me for a few weeks, dude. Like, and then she went to go permanently live with that other guy, and she also got pregnant at the same time real fast. Like, she only knew him for 2 weeks. Again, not my problem. That's not my business. My problem is this right here. I'm not going to go down for something like this. Cause I'm debunking this shit right now. She can say whatever the fuck she wants. And she could say I was a crazy roommate and stuff like that, but I did help her, and I helped her out, and I helped her the best of my ability. And if that gets me hate just for helping somebody, I don't know what to say anymore. I literally went out of the kindness of my heart to help her out because I felt bad that she was not happy over there. I paid for a plane ticket, like I said, and I just wanted her to be able to have a happier life. And if that's so wrong, I don't know what to tell people. She can say whatever the fuck she wants, but that's the truth. That's what happened. And I'm not gonna deal with something that literally, this is another fucking lie. This is a lie. She's probably gonna bring up like people that were in that group chat. Like, it was so toxic that people were making fun of people. People were bringing people down. People were fucking putting like nudes in there and shit like that. People were doing some fucked up raunchy shit in there, and that's why I left. I was only in there for one fucking day, and I left because somebody had messaged me privately, and she says to me that they're talking shit about you, right? And I said, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna be on my way, and that's it. But I'm not gonna add this to whatever you guys are feeling. I'm not dealing with this. Like, this is not. She's irrelevant. She is irrelevant. I am telling y'all right now, she's trying to chase for clout. She is irrelevant. I literally have not spoken to this girl in over 9-10 years. I haven't seen her in a long time. And she's going to try to mention that I was dating people in between. I literally said that I was dating people in between because I was on and off with Corey. Am I just supposed to stay alone? Like, I was able to talk to people and see people. I wasn't fucking doing anything wrong.
The reason I'm more inclined to believe the first girl with the curly hair that said that she was 21 when she met this girl is simply because she actually sounded like she was in the right frame of mind. The girl that Corey was, with previously, she doesn't sound completely coherent in the video that she's speaking in. If you guys go back and watch the video where she was speaking with Corey, you could kind of tell that she was, completely sober. And I'm not trying to say that she sound drunk or high or whatever, but she just sounded like she was slurring her words a little bit. So she may have allegedly been under the influence when making some of these videos, is all I'm saying. Because the way that she's speaking does not sound, a lot of what she's saying sounds ineligible. So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, a lot of what she's saying, it just sounds like she's a little bit under the influence based off the way that she's slurring. And I forgot to show you guys this video earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and sneak this video in. Go ahead and take a look at this.
I just really want to make this clear that, and this is very important, I'm saying this literally with all my heart. This was never about defaming Cory at all. It literally was me venting about something that happened to me in the past that did hurt me. I felt at that moment that I wanted to share with people that may have similar experiences like I did. And that's basically it. So basically what I'm going to show you now is everything pertaining to the situation. As proof, this was literally not intended to attack or have attacks towards Cory. So please stop the essay allegations towards him. That is not true, and that's not what I said. There was no cheating or pregnancy. There was no editing of messages. Those were literally rumors that they made you guys believe because they were trying to bring traction to their content. Oh, other creators or whoever was trying to say something or do something. I literally said, and I'm emphasizing this because people keep thinking that this is what I wanted and this is not what I wanted. But I literally was not looking for follows or attention or any clout. I literally just posted it just from my experience and to heal from my experience. I just want to address the fake messages that have been going around, or tweets or whatever it is that people are editing, and they're fake. If it's anything outside my TikTok, they're fake. People are obviously taking that so they could bring traction to their channel. If it's anything that I need to talk about, it's going to be on my channel only, and that's it. I gave what I had to clear up the false allegations against Cory, and that content creators made up is not fair to him or me, because it was not about that at all. If it's not dropped on my TikTok, please, 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 it's not legit and not for me. Anything on Twitter pertaining to the situation at all is not legit. If you need to refer to my TikTok and it's not for attention, but literally to verify, I have no friends involved in this. It's my experience, y'all. People who claim to be friends, unless said by me, are just looking for attention. That's basically it. Literally making rumored lies is crazy to me because it's likely trolls and creators making this a trend. Like, literally, that's exactly what's happening. And people are literally editing, making false messages, fake accounts, and false claims. So please be aware of that. Please.
If you guys want to go back and, pause and read all those things that she was saying in that little last video, that's fine. I just thought it was crazy how she just burst out with the, music at the end. I'm just like, why would you do that? Just once again, just not even bringing validation to her own story that she's, putting out there. Just making herself look foolish, really. All in all, I just kind of feel like, she made a fool of herself, really. I think that she has deeper issues in regards to this. This has nothing to do with Cory. This is everything to do with her own past traumas of her going through it with, dealing with not being able to get past her SA story and those things that happened to her. We're not just going to, take away from the fact that all of those things did happen to her. That is unfortunate. But I just don't like the fact that she's making this whole situation about how, Cory's the blame and everything. No, I think it has much more to deal with the fact that you can't get over the things that have happened to you with the SA journey that you've been through, plus, Corey coming in doing whatever it is that he did. I just thought it was interesting how she even said that, like, oh, you're saying you didn't have your ish together. Okay, money and having cars and houses doesn't mean that, he didn't have his ish together mentally. Like, there's so many levels of having your ish together. And I just think that, at the end of the day, it wasn't valid how he treated her. Of course not. But I also don't think that it was worth her putting out, a 35, slideshow here, a 35 slideshow here, a 35 slideshow, and then all these videos and pictures and stuff, and then making people think that there was much huger allegations here. Because a lot of people are actual fans of him, and a lot of people do actually look at him as a great person. And it's just your experience is much different than, other people's experience. And it's not to demean your experience, but you also don't have to watch him either. Like, Corey's not that mainstream. So if you don't want to watch him, you just turn off his videos, because it's not like he's plastered on billboards everywhere. So, the only way that I could think of her being able to just constantly be bombarded with Corey is if she's actually going out there and looking for him. And that right there is a problem. I think that she needs to go get herself some therapy and, go through those courses of therapy and seeing what that does for her, because clearly she's going through much more deeper things from her past traumas of being SA'd and everything. The reason that she would even bring those things up to Corey. But also, it does seem like she's living a much more promiscuous lifestyle based off of what her ex best friend said, because she was telling the tea, and she even admitted that, yes, she was out here going out there dating. So it's not like you cared too much about Corey, because you moved on very fast after. And honestly and truthfully, I think that Corey's response should honestly and truthfully be no response. We've already debunked everything. Everything's been pretty much settled. I think that he should come back, do another game, and act like this whole situation never happened, because at this point, there's nothing to explain. But that's my opinion. What's yours?